ShapeLayerToolbar has a lot of buttons. We'll start with the settings button, the play record button, add shape button, add group button, add paths and parametric shapes, filters here in light blue, add merge paths, add graphic elements, that's fill and strokes, and gradient fills and strokes, and at the bottom row we've got all the expression controls. Let's have a look at the settings. When you click the settings button, it will give you the settings menu, where you can choose which button to show or not to show, horizontal, vertical display, buttons for saving and loading your settings, so you can share them via the cloud between your computers. Let's first save the current settings to a new file. This will automatically show the date, or you name it yourself. Then I will choose that same file to get my settings from again, and the cloud service can sync it between your computers. With that set up, you can now record your own settings for each individual button. Let's look at the rest of the menu. Set your merge paths, some compatibility settings and your license settings. The shape layer button will add a new shape layer. If you've got nothing selected, it will do the full comp length. But if you've got another layer selected, it will trim the new layer to the dimensions of the layer you had selected. Let's do a few simple examples. I'll start with the sun. I'll add a layer, add a circle, then I'll add a zigzag for the points, then I'll add a fill, and I will hit SS and take the color from here. Then I'll have to make another circle, add another ellipse to do the cutout. Boom. Oh, so now you see that the zigzag is applied to both circles, so I'll add these two to group with Ctrl G, and now the zigzag will only apply to the ellipse path that's in this group. That concludes the sun. Let me continue, turn this one off with the moon, add a new shape layer, add two circles, and I'll open them up with SS. Then I'll move one over for, let's say, 100 pixels, add a fill. Now you see that I need to add a merge path, so I'll add a subtract to take off the one circle from the other. It's easy to find any shape layer element with ShapeLayerToolbar. Ctrl-Shift-click any button and it will select those elements in your project. You can also look in just one layer. So select the layers you want to look in, Ctrl-Shift-click what you want to find, for example zigzag, and it will select the zigzags in that layer. Now this will also work for circles. So I've got a few more circles in this project, and it will also work for expression controls. I'll recreate the outline of this sun as a path, so I can show you the record and play tools. I'll use a polystar path, set it up just right. So here's my path, and if I now put ShapeLayerToolbar in record mode, I can record this path. I can name it for future reference, and then I change back to play mode. Now I can hit this button, and there's my path. So let me remove this fill, and then I'll add a gradient. This is one, and maybe I'll add the rainbow gradient. Control click this button. There's the rainbow gradient. So to apply rainbow gradient, ShapeLayerToolbar actually applies a animation preset on the gradient property. So let me change it a bit. And now I'll save this one when you're saving a gradient, ShapeLayerToolbar will actually save a animation preset. Selected it, change the name. So here's ShapeLayerToolbar warning you. So first you can choose where to save your new gradient. Made a special place in Dropbox so I can open it from my other computer. Rainbow 2. And of course After Effects will warn me that I'm saving in a different place. And then ShapeLayerToolbar lets me open it again, so if I want to use another gradient, I can open that instead. Now if I delete this gradient and I click Ctrl on the gradient fill, I get my new rainbow gradient. Let's now add a few expression control points to change the start and the end point of this gradient. Connect the start point here, and I'll connect the end point here, and of course I have to subtract the position of the shape layer. Let me go into these expressions and subtract position, and also in the other one minus position. Okay. Now if I change the expression control point, the gradient will change as well. Of course, if I turn these expressions off and place the gradient and its shape in a group with Ctrl G, then I can see the native tools for the start and the end point. They won't show if you haven't put it inside a group. If you've got any questions, please ask them and I will try to answer them for you. My regards.